welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and we are doing the discussion for InBetween, the Stranger Things board game. Card game, pretty much. Okay.
Say it's actually
come on.
Yeah,
it is very much Stranger Things.
But it's not literally.
Well, no. Because they probably couldn't afford the IP, but it's the same exact.
No, they just couldn't afford an actual original idea, so they ripped it.
I mean, it's a good idea. So, caveat, Kat and I played this multiple times, actually.
Yeah, a couple times.
A while ago. Like, we did, we traded.
We sat on the floor and we made each other mad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty much it, because I hate you. But, so, we originally weren't going to do this game for the channel, because I was like, it's shit, and I don't want to do it. Like, I didn't like it. But I was like, you know what? Why not? Fuck it. It'll be a short video. Who knows? It's unheard of. Did your feelings change? It did? Yeah. Do you like it more or less?
Yeah, more.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, way less. I fucking hate this.
I actually hate Stranger Things now. It was that bad.
Yeah, me too, actually. Because I hated it. And I'm definitely going to change my rating on Board Game Geek, because I don't think I gave it a good rating.
Me either.
But after rereading the rules just to give us a refresher on how to play, we basically caught one rule that we were doing completely wrong.
Yeah.
Which was, anytime there was a token on it, we just raised the awareness.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't get to do anything.
That, like, blitzes the game.
Yeah, because you're just sitting there, you're like, oh, look, it's going to you, so I guess that'll increase.
Yeah. We would both, just if we went one full circle, not doing anything differently, mine would be raised by 3, yours would be raised by 3. Yeah. That's half the game right there that we would have been like,
it was stupid. Then once I read the rules again, I was like, oh, you have to pay energy to do that? It creates a lot of actual strategy.
Yeah, good tension.
Yeah, because you're like, oh shit, because whenever I was sitting here towards the end of the last game, I was like, when I looked at the camera, I was like really nervous, because I was like, or whenever I said if I was smarter, I would have rested, because I wasn't sure if I would have had the energy to be able to come around and do this.
Yeah.
But then I was able to do it anyway. It rested and rest there to be able to get half of it and pay for it.
Yeah. I needed to not rest so much and try to get it that way as so much as discard cards to flip, then rest. Because if I had flipped a few and I rested like twice, I would have been golden.
Oh, yeah,
and then I could have done it.
Yeah, getting them on your side.
But I was so focused that I was like, I just need to rest, that I was just like...
Right. I mean, you made me nervous. Like, put it this way, if Maggie wasn't in this game, you would have completely destroyed me. Like, because having her being able to double my awareness is the only reason I was able to... Because I had, like... I got to 1, and I was like, alright, then you knocked it back, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I just had... What sucked, though, is I had to survive the entire trip around to make it to her.
It's nerve-wracking.
Another thing that we were doing wrong originally, actually at the beginning of this game, I think we did it once, was that we thought to be in the dimension was they had to have a safety marker on it, and that's not the case either. Like, they're always in a dimension, so...
Yeah, no.
Because I remember reading that rule, like it says, let me see if I can find it real quick. At the start of the game, none of the characters have safety markers on. This means they are all in between. However, each character start card is still in one dimension or the other.
Yeah, they're just not claimed.
Correct.
Yeah.
So by that rule, that means when you rest, it says gain energy equal to the number of character cards in your dimension.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, if that's the case, then you're only ever getting like 2 or 3 fucking energy.
Which would make this game so long.
So slow, yeah.
Yeah.
So, after fixing all that, I think I'll actually keep the game. Like, it's interesting enough, and I like the 2-player kind of like tug of war.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of games that do that, and this one is kind of a really good thematic one. And whenever you were like, okay, because what's really cool is not only are you just trying to like push and pull each other just to claim them, they all have abilities. That you also want that change based on who they are. Like, what was Maggie's ability? So you gain 2 energy and you draw a card. So I was lucky enough that in this game, do I even have any guns? Okay, I do. There's just 2, 3. Oh, they're all just at the bottom. Actually, there's only four guns. I just happened that Maggie was out, and I had a lot of I cards at the beginning to be able to get her down to nervous, to be able to trigger the ability. So it's really cool. I like that a lot, just that, okay, well, like you did it to me multiple times, you just popped this off so I wouldn't get to increase my awareness or even trigger the ability, because all you needed to do, if you got a house, was move this up.
Right.
Then I don't get the ability. I still can do my awareness, but now it costs me full price.
Yeah.
And that probably would have held the game off a little bit. I like the fact that you can alternate between, like, between directions, and also...
Oh yeah, fuck it up,
yeah. Yeah, and because going that way, I had a card, actually, that was called... I thought I did. That allowed me to change the...
I'm sure you did.
Track.
I had 2.
I can't find it. But I got replacement, which moved that person away so you wouldn't be able to... Because I thought you were totally going that route.
I mean, yes and no.
And I'm like, oh my god.
They're actually the route that I was originally going. I had a card that let me move the activity marker to anybody else.
Oh.
But it cost 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was still going to use it, but with it costing 3 alone, and my very last one was 6, I would have had to have 9 at any given time, and I just never had enough.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it just so happened that even flipping them over to your side, like, you might think, I originally thought it was just a wasted turn.
Right.
I'm like, you don't get anything. Well, you do, because now, if they want to use their ability, then they have to flip it over and spend the card.
Yeah.
Or if they don't, then they're giving you all the energy, which is the only reason I was able to do anything, because I was pulling 7 energy, or 6 or 7 energy.
I know, you were like, I'm only getting 6, and I was like,
oh. So it has a very balanced feel,
now
which
it does,
we
yes.
originally didn't think. We thought, oh fuck, the monster is of course stronger, and never once in this game did I think that I was stronger than you.
Yeah, like, I remember playing it the very first time, and you played the monster, like you usually do, and you were like, well, do you want to play? And I was like, no, because I knew I would be OP. I was like, I just remember not wanting to play the monster, because I was like, I know how it's going to go, and it went exactly how it went, because we were playing it wrong.
Oh, it did, yeah.
But, and I was like, there, we got it.
Yeah, you were like, see, it went exactly like I thought. So what's cool as well is not only does each character have their own ability. Now some of them are duplicate, like Rodney's ability is
Bob's, isn't it?
Is
no,
the same.
No, that's Richard.
Yeah, no, it's Rodney and Bob. The town chooses an adjacent character card in the creature dimension and shifts a safety marker, which is like, you might be like, oh wow, they're not all unique, except having 2 of those on the fucking board is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, you know why they're the same?
Why?
They're partners. Look at them.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, Bob's in that picture.
Oh, he is. Huh. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so you kind of create a story with just the artwork, which is actually pretty good. It'd be really cool to see this as an actual board game, where maybe you actually have to, like, flip the board or something like that. That'd be kind of tedious, probably. But yeah, so if you look at it, you can come up with really sweet combos. Like, if you actually had these down here, and you, like, moved them, next to each other, then that means once this comes around, oh, that's going to go off, then that's going to go off, so you just constantly keep removing because they're like detectives or something, so they're figuring it out.
Yeah.
So you can come up with these cool combinations of the cards, and not only that, is there are 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 actual residents in the game, so you're going to get a different combination of people. And not only are you going to get a different combination of people, you're going to get a different startup on who's in the creature's dimension versus who's in the town's dimension. So, yeah, after playing it correctly, the rulebook isn't the best, but I think the problem is, like, whenever you get a small game like this, you assume it's going to be more simple than it is.
Yeah.
Like, this game's not hard.
Like, for some reason, size equates to easiness.
Yeah, you're just like, okay, I guess we just move shit around. Apparently, you need to, like, actually read it, and then, pay attention, because it uses the turn, like, it unfortunately uses turn instead of No, it used it correctly. I apologize. Because it's turn structure, meaning that, oh, it's your turn, you follow this. Okay, at the end movement, you flip it, now it's my turn. And then it goes like that. This, we originally thought had a meaning to it. All it is just to indicate, hey, whose turn is it? Who's the active player right now?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think... So this was something I was thinking of, which actually caused me to win the game. Do you like the fact that abilities can still trigger even if it's not that player's turn? Like, I technically won at the end of your turn. Like,
yeah.
Like, it was there, and your turn ended, and then...
I think that's part of the balancing act.
Okay.
Because I think if you didn't, there would always be someone who's just getting shit on just because of what? Because that's the way
it just happens to go that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
because
I
if that
agree.
is the truth, because if it's staggering, and it's just hitting on like.
It just always hits on your turn.
See what I mean? Yeah.
That's a good point.
So I think if it didn't do that, I think it would be way unbalanced.
Right. Do you think... Okay, so what don't you like about this game? Because I have one complaint.
Well, you go first.
So my biggest complaint is that there is more strategy to luck. There is a good balance of that. And it's not even really a big complaint, but it can be frustrating. And this happened even when we were playing it wrong versus this, was your hand is kind of random.
Oh.
Like, who you can affect is random.
Yeah.
And it's like, because like most of my time I never had a gun, so I can never affect Richard or Earl. I couldn't affect any of your remaining guys actually.
Oh, of course.
Because I never drew a gun, and actually counting, there's only one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
2, 3, 4 guns. But they're probably really, this town loses 1 energy if able. If it did, you gain it. Oh, so the reason why they're guns is because they're all the same card, but they're free.
Mm.
And they help me gain energy while causing you to lose energy.
So that's why, okay.
So, whenever it comes to that, so you can get completely hosed by your deck.
Oh yeah.
But they thought of that, which is interesting. It's another, you're never going to feel like you're doing enough. Every single turn you only do one action. Like, you feel like you're wasting your time if you're resting. You feel like you're wasting your time if you're preparing. Because at the end of your turn, you know it's going to flip over. So half this game was like, I'm like, oh, I can put one down. Oh, no I can't because I don't have the card. And if I want to, I don't have the energy to do anything for it. So, like, there was a time where it was over here, but it was my turn. And I was like, great, at the end, I can't affect that one. Like, there was a time when I prepared, and I didn't get a gun. And I was like, well, shit. So, I wasn't able to stop you from being able to raise your awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So, you never feel like you're doing enough, which I like in games. I hate games where you always get to do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess that's not true. It depends on the game. But they thought of that. So yeah, you can get randomly hosed. But what's really cool is like, okay, now that I know there's not a lot of guns, sure, I'll play replacement, and I'll put that there. So now I increase my odds of being able to affect Richard, because now I have a higher chance of drawing, you know, a scar or whatever. Oh look, I prepared. Oh hey, now I can affect him.
Mm.
Because not only does he have a gun, he has a scar. Mm-hmm. And even then, it's like, man, there's a lot of eyes. I think she's good, so I'll play, you know, ambush. Oh, good. Now I'll put an eye there.
Mm-hmm.
So now I triple my chances of being able to affect him. And you can do that by looking at the abilities. Like, you could have easily done that if you weren't drawing houses. You could have realized this is probably how he's going to win. And play cards just to add more chances, just to fuck with my safety.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. So, yes, you can get hosed initially, but you can mitigate that by just increasing your odds. You just look at what are the chances of that coming around? Can you time it enough to be able to affect it? It's a really good balanced tug-of-war game.
It finally worked out, yeah.
It did, and I'm really glad I gave it another shot, because I was going to trash this game. I wasn't really going to trash it.
You asked me, you're like, will you record this for the channel? And I was just like, fine.
So that's really my only complaint, but even then, it's minor.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
No, because I guess that would have really been mine as well, because I just, like, drew only, and that's not a bad thing, to only draw, events. I guess they're not.
They're you have equipment cards. I don't have anything like that.
Yeah. Well, so.
I think the only thing I have is you have equipment cards. I have more symbols.
Gotcha. Yeah, I never got my my breakfast bars were like almost the next one. And my shot.
You can only ever have 3 out, so that's good.
Yeah, but they're still really good. But
they
I never got to them. They're not necessary because I was doing fine without them.
Right.
Obviously, you'd have to. Like, I'm sure there was a version of this game where they maybe only played with those to see if it would still work if you got totally fucked over.
Oh, right.
I would assume, but the thing with not having your items or your equipment laid down is they're just there because you need help. Like, it's kind of tough going against the monster without any equipment because, like, the shotgun is a really good one.
You had 5 awareness, and that's the thing is you could have, at any time can you do your awareness, and we'll talk about that in a sec.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I didn't play the heroes, but personally I felt like you didn't need it. You were doing well.
No, yeah, I was doing fine. It's just I probably would have won with him.
Well, see, that's the thing is because I know you have. Like, the entire game, I was holding on to Rage, which allows me to discard your equipment cards. So I was holding this. Actually, I had, like, 2 or 3 at the beginning.
Because you were holding them.
I was like, okay, she's going to get some and I'll need to get rid of them.
Joke's on you.
But you never did, and then remember the time where I was like, this is probably going to hurt me later, and I used it to affect
I was wondering
someone.
what you meant. Or Carl, I think. It doesn't matter, I guess, but...
Yeah, I think it was Carl. Yeah, I used it to affect someone, and I didn't have any, and I was like, she's probably going to be like, oh, equipment. It's like, ah! And I don't know how many there are in the deck. So I was planning for that. So 2 more things that I can think of. One, what do you think of the awareness? Originally, because that was our initial problem at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it's much more balanced now.
Right, because what did I say, you needed 26?
21 or something. Yeah, it's right around there.
15. 21. You need 21 total energy to be able to win.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, not a lot, but it's still difficult because you have to have safety markers on.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot until you're like, oh shit.
Right, because you also want to do events. Like, you can't focus on both.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially when you're not looking at it as in 21, like once the game gets going, you're looking at it like, oh, I only need 6, and then you look down and you only have 1, and you're like, fuck me.
Right. Because, I mean, all of these are beneficial, because we didn't do it during the game, but you can actually, they have abilities. Mm-hmm. One, you shuffle your deck and discard pile to create a new deck, and then you draw 1 card. So if you know how many are in your deck, you're like, oh, I'm all out of eyes. Or I'm all out of whatever, I need to create my deck. I don't remember if you lose, if your deck runs out, I don't think so. But then 2 is gain 2 energy, 3 is shift the safety marker on any 1 secured character card by 1 space. That is huge. Like if you're, because there's another way to win. If you get 3 secured or I get 3 devoured, then one of us wins.
Right.
So if you're at 2 and I'm at 3, I can use that to push it back.
Right.
And I don't think this is an action to do this. I think it's the first phase. You may use your awareness ability. So not only could I be like, oh, okay, boom, he's no longer secured, I pulled him out, now I'm going to play a gun to move him back even more. So that's huge. You can flip oh, that's what it was. I didn't have a card to be able to do it. I almost flipped the direction token because I was like, I'm not going to get enough energy, I needed to go the other way. And then 5, discard all cards from your hand, then draw the same number of cards from your deck, and then 6. So I don't know if these are, I think they're all situational, but you can only ever do them once. And I remember the other time as we played, I thought you had to flip the card. And I was like, oh, great, I can't win that way. But I didn't realize there was a little whatever that's called. And the last question, unless you have anything else, do you think both sides are balanced? Creature and town?
Yes.
I do too.
I feel
like you can do well either way. Ultimately, you're going to be doing the same thing, trying to swap them over, but the abilities will be beneficial. Because constantly having people, because Maggie, like, the town gains 2 energy. If you had Maggie on your side, you'd be gaining, and you were the same thing, you'd be gaining 4 energy and constantly having cards.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Scale of 1 to 10.
Give it a dang old 8.5.
8.5. Yeah, like, actually, after playing it more, I think I will agree with you. It's not a game I want to play all the time, but
if definitely get old, yeah.
Yeah, but if I want, well, see, that's a good statement. It's like, would it get old, or would you just get better at it? Because I think it's like
both.
You think?
Yes. Yeah, I think everything gets old at one point, except for The Witcher. So excuse me.
No, even The Witcher gets old. And I don't know. I think this gets better over time because now your strategy will get better based on who comes out, and because you'll know them. You'll know. I'm always gonna know Maggie will help me raise my raise my awareness, and you know that too.
Yeah.
So I think it does have legs, which is pretty cool. I do like the theme. The theme does kind of come out, not strong, but it is definitely a good little box game that I'm glad I gave it another shot.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8.5. It has potential to raise to a 9 if we play it more. So that's it. That is InBetween. Everyone, let me know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this, and if you like this video, then click the subscribe button below to enjoy any video that I put out. And right next to that subscribe button is a little bell. Click that so you get notified of whenever I actually upload these videos. If you want to support the channel, you can definitely visit my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.